entire chat during the breaks. Let me quickly go through, we got about 30 minutes, so we'll go through the Google Slack presentation. This is going to be really quick, and then we can take more questions after that if you like. That make sense? Okay. So we'll talk about why does Google have ads quality, what goes into ads quality, some of the quality score myths, and some question and answers. So basically, the Google Slap is essentially, how many people understand what the Google Slap is, first of all? How many people don't but would like to know? Okay. So the Google Slap is essentially a way by which Google completely restricts the traffic coming to your sales page or coming to your website. And this is through either natural search traffic or paid search traffic. And when that happens, because 86 to 88% of web traffic is channeled through Google, most people do Google searches for everything. Even if you know the domain name, people go and put the domain name in a Google search box to get to the particular site. So because as much as, well over 80% of the traffic comes from Google, Google gives all of their web pages, all of the web pages on the internet, a quality score. And where a page appears on Google search results is dependent on that quality score. And if your quality score drops dramatically for whatever reason, then the traffic dies completely. Google has even been known to take actions like completely delisting you from their indexes. So they don't even index your site. So people just can't find your site at all. And that's the death sentence. That's horrible. It's very hard to recover from that. So why does Google do this? Why do they restrict traffic? And why is it that we are so dependent on Google to get traffic? How can you make sure that you don't get slapped? Well, basically, it's all decided on the basis of something called a quality score. So Google assigns a quality score to every page on the internet. And Google's quality score is really their way of balancing the interests of all of the different people, all of the different parties on an advertising system, so which is users, advertisers, and Google themselves. So that's basically the way they manage the ecosystem. Now, one of the important things in dealing with Google, we've spent a lot of time building relationships with Google, and we have an excellent relationship with Google. And they're a tremendous company. I mean, no matter what anybody says about how capricious sometimes Google may appear to be, they are an incredibly well-meaning company. Their actions may not manifest themselves in quite that way. They're an extraordinarily well-meaning company. And the interesting thing in working with Google is you find that there's a strong thread of idealism that runs through everything they do. They're an incredibly idealistic company and big, lofty goals. And it's not often that you see goals that are that lofty. But let's take a minute to examine what their core beliefs are. Google believes that anything short of delivering high-quality, relevant ads to the user will harm the overall Google experience and the search experience. So that's their whole thing. They want to be sure that they're delivering good quality search. They understand that ads are information too, and they help Google in their mission to organize all the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Now, organizing all the world's information, that's an enormously lofty goal. I mean, that is huge, the amount of information that's available in the world. If you take upon yourself the responsibility to organize all of that and present it in some responsible way, that's an incredibly lofty goal. So that's what sets Google up to do these kinds of things, which are sometimes considered arbitrary and capricious, but it's not. It's really following down that idealistic path. So they believe that rather than showing ads which provide a low-quality experience for users who click on them, Google prefers to show no ads at all. This is counterintuitive to a lot of people, because I've had any number of conversations with people that say, yeah, maybe my site's not great, but I advertise on a particular page and there's nobody there. Now, Google's in it to make money. Why would they not show my ad? Why would they not direct people to my page? They get to make money doing that. And it's not like they're showing somebody else's ad that's better. They're showing nobody's ad. And that's their point. If there's no good ad to show, they won't show a good ad. They just won't show anything at all. And they also believe that their job is never done, and they need to constantly improve the quality of their ads. So it's important to understand how Google arrives at landing page quality. What is the underlying philosophy? So, and you're probably wondering what a picture of a cow is doing in this presentation. This actually relates to the core belief and the underlying philosophy of Google's landing page quality scores. A gentleman by the name of Francis Galton in the early 1900s was actually a cousin of Charles Darwin's. So Francis Galton was a social scientist, and he extended theories that Darwin had proposed to quite an extent. And one of his basic theories was there is greater wisdom in crowds than there is in individuals. So the collection of all of the wisdom of all of the people in this room is greater than the wisdom of any one person in this room, which I think we can sign up to. I think that's easy to understand. But the way he demonstrated it was particularly interesting. At a county fair in England, in the south of England, in 1906, you know what county fairs are. They have cattle that come to market, and, you know, women bake pies, and they have a bake sale and all kinds of things. Children play, and it's a fun event for the whole family in a rural community. So at this county fair, there were these cattle that had been entered into a contest. And so there was this prize-winning cow that the owner of the cow challenged the people at the fair to guess the exact weight of the cow. So there were people, all kinds of people at this fair. There were cattle experts, farmers, housewives, children. You know, everybody got to put in their guess. And the prize was that the person who guessed the weight of the cow exactly, or closest to the real weight of the cow, got to win something. And so what happened was everybody entered the contest, and Francis Galton was actually managing this whole process. And he took everybody's guess and averaged it. Took the number of guesses, divided it by the number of people, and arrived at the average, and then took the individual guesses of all of the people. And you could almost guess what the answer was. The average of everybody's guess was the closest to the real weight of the cow than any one individual guess, even though the average would probably have been skewed by children, people that had no idea about the weight of cows, but still, that still was the closest. So, which said that in a crowd, when the individuals in a crowd don't have the opportunity to conspire with one another, if you take the average of their feeling about something, it is often closest to the truth than if each individual were asked to guess and you took one as the expert. So that's what Google uses in gauging the quality of sites. What they do is they have human reviewers that view every single site and give it a quality score. They have a large number of these reviewers. The collection of the quality scores given to a particular site by a whole lot of human reviewers are then taken and averaged out, and that is taken as the value for the landing page quality of that particular site. Now, what then Google does is they take that value, look at the site against which that value is applied, deconstruct the site, look at all of the various elements that go to make that site. It's got an iframe, it's got video, it's got this, it's got audio, it's got all this kind of stuff going on. They take that and they say, so a site that has these characteristics has a value of this. And it's a landing page quality score is a simple numerical score going from 1 to 10, 10 being superb, 1 being horrible. Right? So what they then do, having deconstructed this site and understood the value, they run their bots against the entire internet, and they look at all the sites that have similar constructs to the one that they just valued and give them the same value. So if you've been slapped and you're wondering, I've been running fine on this particular site for 3 years, 4 years, whatever, and why did I get slapped now? It's not like it's a new design. It's the same site design that's been there forever. That's probably because somebody else who had the same elements on their site was slapped, which then reflected on all the sites that looked like that and got slapped as well. So that's how that works. Now this is little known. Not a lot of people know about this. And this is not something that is frequently shared either. So let's talk about the quality score. Why does the quality score matter? Quality score determines eligibility. It determines whether your ad is eligible to enter the auction for that query. So if you're buying PPC AdWords and you wanted to run an ad to a particular page, the quality score of that page would determine the eligibility, whether even you can choose to advertise on that page. It determines the position. It determines the relative position where the ad will show in relation to other ads that advertise on that same results page. It determines extensions, whether you can, if your ad is one of a high enough quality to show ad site links. So ad site links are where you have links to deeper parts of the site rather than just the headline of the site. If your page is of sufficient quality, then your ad can have links to deeper pages in your site that could take visitors to a deeper place. So that obviously is much, much higher level of engagement. Price. Obviously, price is determined by the quality. So how much you bid for a particular ad is determined by the quality of the page. And to quote somebody at Google, they said, if the landing page quality score is sufficiently low, if a page is sufficiently bad, there is not enough money in the world to buy an ad to advertise that page. So if a page is really bad, there is no way you can buy an ad to advertise on that page. You just can't afford it. It would be some ridiculous number like $1,500 a click. So there is not enough money in the world to advertise a page with sufficiently bad quality. Top slot. Now you see on a search results page where the ads are placed. Now, obviously, the higher in the gutter on the right-hand side that your ad is placed, the higher the chances of a click-through on that. So again, the quality of the landing page determines how high on that gutter your ad goes. So all of these things matter. And DKI is dynamic keyword indexing. Dynamic keyword indexing is where not only does your ad show, but within the ad, Google can insert specific keywords against which you're bidding. So to the visitor, to the search user, it looks like that ad is aimed at them because those were the exact keywords that the user put in the search box when they came to that search results page. So Google will insert those keywords into the ad itself so that it would take you to that particular site, and that site looks more relevant to you. So that again depends on the quality of the page. So what contributes to quality? The quality score is determined by 3 things: the click-through rate, the real-time relevancy, and the landing page quality. So let's talk more about each of those. Click-through rate. The click-through rate is the most important factor that determines the landing page quality score. How many people click on a particular ad to go to a page? And that's determined by the account, the keyword, the creatives. And Google has some very complex algorithms that determine whether